This week, Al Pacino and Russell Crowe uncover a tobacco industry scandal in The Insider.
John Cusack and Cameron Diaz find themselves being John Malkovich.
And Meryl Streep teaches her Harlem students how to play music of the heart.
Whose life, if you look at it under a microscope, doesn't have any flaws?
Well, that's the whole point, Jeffrey. That's the whole point. Anyone's, everyone's. They are going to look under every rock, dig up every flaw, every mistake you've ever made.
Al Pacino is a TV producer at war with Big Tobacco and his network in The Insider, and that is one of 5 new movies this week, including Princess Mononoke and Being John Malkovich. I'm Roger Ebert of the Chicago Sun-Times.
And I'm Harry Knowles with Ain't It Cool News. Nice to be back on the show, Roger.
Nice to have you back, Harry. And we have some big movies this week. Let's start with The Insider, directed by Michael Mann and starring Al Pacino as Lowell Bergman, a producer for the legendary CBS program 60 Minutes. Bergman encounters a fired vice president from the Brown and Williamson Tobacco Company who possesses damning evidence that the cigarette industry knows its deadly product is addictive and is lying about it.
You go public and 30 million people hear what you got to say. Nothing, I mean nothing, will ever be the same again. You believe that? No, you should.
That's Russell Crowe from L.A. Confidential playing the real-life Jeffrey Wigand, whose testimony finally ended decades of tobacco industry denials. Christopher Plummer plays 60 Minutes reporter Mike Wallace, who also smells a very big story.
Am I missing something?
What do you mean, Mike?
I mean, he's got a corporate secrecy agreement. Give me a break. Now, this is a public health issue, like an unsafe airframe on a passenger jet or some company dumping cyanide into the East River. Issues like that. He can talk, we can hear it.
The interview is dynamite. The Insider doesn't mince any words.
We are in the nicotine delivery business.
And that's what cigarettes are for.
Delivery device for nicotine.
A delivery device for nicotine. Put it in your mouth, light it up, and you're going to get your fix.
You're going to get your fix.
But then a hitch developed. Top executives at CBS are afraid to run the piece because of legal threats from the tobacco industry. Philip Baker Hall plays longtime 60 Minutes executive producer Don Hewitt, and Gina Gershon plays one of the network's top lawyers.
Well, with tortious interference, I'm afraid the greater the truth, the greater the damage.
Come again?
They own the information he's disclosing. The truer it is, the greater the damage to them.
Wallace tries to find a middle ground, a compromise, but eventually he feels he's been betrayed by his network.
I'm trying to band-aid a situation here, and you're too dim to...
Mike.
Mike? Mike! Try Mr. Wallace.
The Insider is not simply about the 60 Minutes reporting that led to a $246 billion defeat for the tobacco company. It's also about the nature of modern journalism in an era when profits are as important as ethics. Imagine all the president's men if Woodward and Bernstein had been forced to leak the Watergate story outside the Washington Post. Both Don Hewitt and Mike Wallace have taken strong exception to some of the details in The Insider, and that debate continues. But the big picture remains. A few guys with guts expose the biggest health cover-up in American history, and the tobacco industry will never be the same. This is a powerful, fascinating film.
Absolutely. I think this is probably Michael Mann's... No, I definitely believe it's Michael Mann's best film. You know, he's done movies like Heat, Manhunter, they're good movies, but they just weren't as complete as this film. I mean, all the performances are dead on in it. The subject matter is important and propulsive. It really grabs you. And you mentioned All the President's Men in this. All the President's Men was just a perfect film in the way it covered print journalism. This movie is absolutely perfect in the way it covers the world of big media journalism.
Yeah, because what's interesting is you think it's just going to be about the tobacco industry cover-up, and you think that's going to be the story. Will this vice president talk to 60 Minutes? Will they get the story out? And then you find out that it also involves a lot of corporate infighting. In fact, the second half of the film is about a different kind of struggle altogether.
Absolutely.
And so it continues to build interest. It's not just a simple good guys versus bad guys, but it has a lot to do with all the infighting.
This film could have just fallen into one of those courtroom yip-yap back and forth. But what I really love is we get to follow Al Pacino's character, and we get to see what a a segment producer actually does. And that's never been seen before. We've never really gotten to get that.
It's got a lot of information in it, and Pacino is very, very good here. He's so intense, and he really becomes this character. He becomes Bergman.
He's not doing "Hwah!" every second you turn around. You know, I mean, he's actually understating and doing a lot of acting with his eyes, which is very important. All right. Our next movie, and it's the long-awaited Princess Mononoke from the famed Japanese director Hayao Miyazaki. Miyazaki has crafted a complex saga about the conflict between industrialism and mysticism, man and nature, and the tangible and intangible. The film centers around several characters, but most prominently features Ashitaka, voiced by Billy Crudup. Here, he confronts Princess San, voiced by Claire Danes, who is on the attack against the forces of Lady Eboshi.
Wait! I don't want to fight you! I'm a friend!
Ashitaka has fallen under a strange curse that threatens his life, but also imbues him with superhuman strength.
She's all right! Your princess is safe with me!
Lady Eboshi, voiced by Minnie Driver, is poised to be the villain of the story, except that her motivations are revealed to be anything but evil when she chooses the survival of her people over the fate of the forest gods.
Now watch closely, everyone. I'm going to show you how to kill a god of life and death. The trick is not to fear him.
Princess Mononoke is an excellent film from Miyazaki, and Miramax has done a wonderful job creating a star-filled English-language version. I get a thrill out of the seemingly boundless world that Miyazaki paints with such great imagination. The movie lacks only the emotional resonance of Miyazaki's earlier works, Kiki's Delivery Service and Porco Rosso. Although some viewers may be confused by the mysticism and magic, the film is an absolute treat for animation buffs everywhere. I'm not the biggest anime fan in the world, but Princess Mononoke offers more than enough to earn a thumbs up from me.
Boy, my thumb is way, way up. I love this film. My heart leapt up when I watched this film because the vision of Miyazaki is so all-encompassing here, and there are details. Right at the beginning of the film, the hero is attacked by kind of a boar monster from the woods that has flesh like writhing worms or snakes. And as you look at the details of that, you realize that that kind of shape-shifting, which is so essential in Japanese myth, could not have been portrayed in a real live-action, realistic special effects film. It has to be animation. You can't show that detail any other way. And all the way through the film, he's using animation in order to help us see things that he can imagine and that cannot exist in the real world. I loved it.
Yeah. The thing about this movie that just speaks volumes is that you don't have to tell children's stories with illustrated film. You know, you can tell so much more. It's a canvas just like any other.
You know, I love animated films in general. I love the Disney animated films. I think that this move toward making so-called real movies for adults in animation is very, very good.
We grow up with the films as kids, but we're adults, and we want to see those types of stories told the way we love them.
You got it. Okay, later in the show, Meryl Streep stars in Wes Craven's Music of the Heart.
I would like you all to play from your heart.
And coming up next, John Cusack discovers what it feels like being John Malkovich.
There's a tiny door in my office, Maxine, and it takes you inside John Malkovich.
Welcome to the 7.5 floor of the Merton Plummer Building.
My name is Craig Schwartz, and I have an interview with Dr. Lester.
John Cusack is going for a job interview there on floor 7.5, and just the weird humor of those low ceilings alone would be enough for most movies. But Being John Malkovich is an endlessly inventive comedy, one of the most dazzling and original films in a long time. In his new office, Cusack finds a small door. He crawls through it and discovers it's a portal that allows him to spend 15 minutes inside the brain of the actor John Malkovich. He can't wait to share his discovery with co-worker Catherine Keener.
Sounds great. He's John Malkovich.
Oh, he's an actor. He's one of the great American actors of the 20th century.
Oh, yeah, what's he been in?
Lots of things. That Jewel Thief movie, for example, he's very well respected.
Cusack's wife is a very strange animal lover played by Cameron Diaz, who you can hardly recognize behind all that dowdiness. She is inside Malkovich's brain while the actor's having sex with another woman, and so in a way, she is too, and the experience leads to profound gender confusion.
It was amazing. I've decided that I'm a transsexual.
John Malkovich not only appears in this movie, but at one point he enters his own portal, which leads to an experience halfway between A Nightmare and Alice in Wonderland.
I have seen a world that no man should see.
Really, for most people, it was a rather pleasant experience. I mean,
That portal is mine, and it must be sealed forever for the love of God.
There's one word for being John Malkovich, and that word is brilliant. First-time feature director Spike Jonze from music videos and screenwriter Charlie Kaufman just shovel original and unexpected and hilarious stuff into this movie with both hands. It never quits. Cusack and Keener and Diaz are all right on the money in tricky roles, and Malkovich is not playing himself, but a sneaky satire on celebrity images. You have to see it to believe it. Princess Mononoke is a masterpiece, and so is being John Malkovich. What a week.
I tell you, this week in film was just, in my opinion, the best week I've had, period. When I walked into the theater to see this, I had no idea what I was walking into.
Neither did I.
And it just blew me completely away. It's like he mixes up the worlds of like Tim Burton and Terry Gilliam. And Spike Jonze is, I think, probably the most exciting filmmaker we have right now because we have no idea what's coming next from him.
This film doesn't go in for a lot of weird visual stuff because the story itself is so weird. The characters, the tension between the characters, the paradoxes, when people line up to get their 15 minutes of fame by being inside John Malkovich, and Malkovich himself gets in line and goes through his own portal, this movie just goes on and builds and builds and builds.
The film has so much soul, too. I mean, all these characters have a profound loss inside of them, and I love the way that something like being inside one famous person for 15 minutes can profoundly change everything about the way you look at the world, and the movie changes that for me.
I think we're looking at one of this year's Best Picture nominees.
Absolutely.
For sure. Coming up next, Meryl Streep is a teacher dedicated to her students and to the music of the heart.
Did you ever hear of Itzhak Perlman? No. He's one of the greatest violinists in the whole world. He has problems with his legs, too. He has to use 2 canes to walk, but he still makes the most beautiful music.
Meryl Streep gives a young girl the courage and strength to put aside her disability and continue playing the violin in Music of the Heart, a new drama from the creator of Nightmare on Elm Street. This time out, though, director Wes Craven has traded his trademark violence for violins in this film based on the life of Roberta Gaspari and her pursuit of bringing music and beauty to these East Harlem youths. However, it is not quite as simple as that, since Roberta has just come out of a brutal and devastating marital breakup and is without any real aim until old friend Aiden Quinn offers this suggestion.
I know this cool lady. She runs this elementary school. It's public, but it's alternative. If it works out, you'd have to be willing to relocate, though.
Once Roberta gets the job teaching the violin, she faces cultural and racial prejudice, especially in this scene where she fights to convince a mother to give her son a chance.
What if Arthur Ashe's mother said he couldn't play tennis because it's a white man's game? You know, the important thing is, Naeem, when he plays music, his whole face lights up.
But in the old Andy Hardy tradition, things go horribly awry, and after years of success, Roberta must battle to keep control over her students, her program, and her legacy.
They slashed the budget. There must be some way that we can fight this. Fight it with what? I don't have any other extra programs I can give them.
I see. After 10 years, after 1,400 kids have learned the violin, this is just an extra program.
You know I don't feel that way.
Yes, that was Angela Bassett as the school principal. The main problem with Music of the Heart is we've seen this story before in films like Mr. Holland's Opus. Also, there were points where I just wanted to gag Meryl Streep to stop her whining, but then I remembered my own high school and junior high band instructors that were just as tough on me. Some may feel the story is trite, but ultimately this is a tale of a teacher that just gets it right. I was strongly moved by some of Roberta's relationships with her students, and especially by the last act. My lack of cynicism lets me give Music of Heart a marginal thumbs up. There is a lot to like here.
I did like it, and you know, one thing that was interesting is Meryl Streep is known as the master of the accent. And she has done every possible accent on film, and you might think at first she's not doing an accent here, until you've heard her speak in real life and realize that she doesn't speak anything at all like this. This is an accent, too. And this character has a very particular tone and timbre to it that is nothing at all like her other characters. She is a masterful actor in the way that she really embodies these people.
Yeah, when I said that I wanted to gag her, it was simply because when you're in school, especially at this age, you always want to gag your teacher, and she feels so much like a teacher. She's sitting there, she's writing these children, she's wanting to get into their head, and she can't soft pedal it. And it really works in this film, which I feel so far has been being mismarketed pretty badly.
Well, it's a real nice film with a real good feeling at the end. Okay, our next movie manages to be heartwarming and very, very strange, both at the same time. It's called Man of the Century, and it asks us to accept the notion that a character from an early talkie could exist in a film that is set in the present day. Johnny 20s, the hero of Man of the Century, walks and talks and thinks like somebody out of one of those 1930s newspaper movies like The Front Page. The movie stars Gibson Fraser as a fast-talking newspaper columnist who simply ignores anything that contradicts his upbeat worldview.
Johnny, this is Timothy Byrne.
Hi, tough guy. Friends call you Timmy? Tim.
Yeah, Tim is the new photographer here.
Oh, you need a ball of fire to show this cake eater the ins and outs of the modern newspaper man. Why, that's me all over. Okay, Timbo, here's what's what. You may be wet behind the ears, but stick with me and everything's going to be Jake.
You have to be kidding.
And imagine the frustration of Johnny's modern girlfriend, played by Susan Egan, who runs an art gallery. She likes him, but she's baffled by him. What's with this guy?
What's it this time, AA meeting?
He's being chased by the mob.
It's points for originality. What's up with him?
I don't know, but I'm going to find out.
And, of course, the movie is shot in black and white. It's a real leap of imagination by Adam Abraham, who directed it and co-wrote the screenplay with his star, Gibson Fraser. Most modern movies are afraid of style. Ever since method acting came in, they've been mesmerized by the illusion of realism. Man of the Century is a head-on collision between mannerism and realism, between a 1930s hero and a 1990s world, and that generates a lot of comic tension and just plain old comedy.
I really was surprised by this film. I saw it a while back at a film festival, and after it was over, I was so convinced that the actor playing Johnny 20s, Gibson Fraser, was a part of the 20s that when he walked out, I almost was shocked, because every star I've ever seen from the 30s is an older person now. But here he is like some preserved cryogenic character that's been brought into our universe. And it's amazing because it really highlights from the 20s to the 90s all of the things in filmmaking we have. What I like is the harsh language in this film. When it's used on this character,
he doesn't hear it.
No, he
those
has no
four-letter
idea.
words. He doesn't know what those four-letter words are. He just ignores them.
Absolutely.
And people kind of ignore his peculiarities. He works in a newspaper office with computers, and yet he has the old manual L.C. Smith typewriter, you know, and the cigarette.
Every newspaper actually has one of those, though. You know, I mean, and that's what this film is. It's about, you know, existing in whatever period you want to exist in.
And of course, there's kind of an interesting contrast between 30s idealism and simplicity and today's cynicism that's underlying the whole movie. When we come back, we love Princess Mononoke, and now an American animated classic is the video pick of the week.
Roger Ebert in the Movies Video Pick of the Week is brought to you by Nestle's Raisinets. At the movies or at home, Raisinets.
If you had to pick the greatest of all American feature-length animated films, which one would it be? I think a lot of people would vote for one of the big recent Disney blockbusters like The Lion King or Beauty and the Beast. Or if they went for the classics, they might choose Snow White. But my favorite is Disney's Pinocchio, released in 1940 and now available in a newly restored video and DVD edition.
What they can't do these days.
Now, this is a scene everybody remembers, Pinocchio growing donkey ears on the island of Lost Boys.
I hope I'm not too late.
What'll I do?
And look at the vigor and energy of this sequence when they're trying to escape from the belly of Monstro the whale. Pinocchio is newly available on tapes and DVD, although the weird thing is the tape includes a feature of the making of Pinocchio, and the DVD, which is where we expect extra bells and whistles, doesn't. That's a shame. Now let's take another look at the movies on this week's show. 2 big thumbs up for Michael Mann's The Insider, with compelling performances by Al Pacino and Russell Crowe. It opens next week. 2 thumbs up for Princess Mononoke from the Japanese master Miyazaki. I liked it even more than Harry did. 2 very enthusiastic thumbs up for Being John Malkovich, a completely original and brilliant comedy by director Spike Jonze. 2 thumbs up for Wes Craven's Music of the Heart, a winning true-life story starring Meryl Streep. And finally, 2 affectionate thumbs up for Man of the Century, Adam Abraham's loving nod to old movies.
Well, it's a really stellar week of the movies. Who says they can't make them like they used to? I like this week.
Oh, you know, people who love the movies are going to have to go 2 or 3 times this week just to keep abreast of things. Thanks a lot for being here.
It's my pleasure.
Appreciate it. Remember, you can hear our reviews on the web, Harry and myself, at ebert-movies.com, part of Go Network. And next week, more new movies, including The Bone Collector, a crime thriller starring Denzel Washington and Angelina Jolie, and also The Bachelor, a romantic comedy starring Chris O'Donnell and Renee Zellweger. That's next week, and until then, the balcony is closed.
It's the Ross $12.99 sweater blowout.
Shop, you're shopping at Ross.
Save up to 70% on an incredible selection of name brand and designer sweaters.
Shop, you're shopping at Ross.
These sweaters sell elsewhere for up to $48. At Ross, they're just $12.99.
Shop.
The Ross $12.99 sweater blowout. It'll blow you away.
There's always something new when you shop at Ross.
Disney on Ice presents for the first time ever the full-length production of The Little Mermaid. Coin TV6 and 98.7 KUPL would like to help you experience it all with your family. Just listen to 98.7 KUPL for your chance to win tickets to the show. Tickets are available at the box office and all Ticketmaster outlets. Come and join us under the sea live on ice as Disney on Ice presents The Little Mermaid, playing the Rose Garden November 18th through 21st, courtesy of Coin TV6 and Couple.
Today on IHOP Reveal, we'll uncover how they really come up with wacky IHOP breakfast names. Behind IHOP scenes, we found this panel of supposed breakfast naming geniuses. But our hidden cameras reveal that these masterminds simply pull names out of a hat. And that's why they're called scrambles. The ranch scramble is stuffed with ham, tomato, and onion, then smothered with cheese and served with hash browns and buttermilk pancakes from $2.99. However, we could not find out how they chose any time's a good time for IHOP.